Lee Stevenson's got that flow. Conversations that matter every Tuesday night. Inspiration, laughter, love, shining bright. Turn it up.
Subscribe to the Marcus Lee Stevenson Show today.
And today, I'm going to introduce someone, but I want to introduce to my far left, my co-host, Angela Clark. Say hi, Angie.
Hello, everyone.
Other co-host, Professor Linda King.
Hello.
And we have Miss Honorable Judge. Did I say that right?
You did.
Judge Danielle Diaz Clark.
Hello.
Yeah. How we doing today?
I'm great. How about you
good?
guys?
You're good. You're good.
Wow.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for
having
having
me.
me.
Quick question. I know one thing you have Diaz and you have Clark.
Yeah. So Diaz is my maiden name, and Clark is my married name. I've been married for quite some time now. But when I started my judicial journey, I was Diaz. So
Okay.
I started in 2015, and I got married in 2016.
Oh,
So,
congrats.
yeah.
That's good. So we're gonna dive in later, but I just
Okay.
wanna. So tell people where you from.
I am from Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
And when I was in the first grade, I moved to Lancaster, Texas.
Okay.
And I stayed in Lancaster, Texas for first grade all the way up till graduation of high school.
Oh,
And then my
wow.
parents moved over to DeSoto,
Across the
Texas.
street.
Across the street. They moved across the street.
They picked up across the
And
street.
yeah, and I went off to college and I moved back across the street to DeSoto, Texas. So
Okay.
yeah,
Never forget where you come from.
never forget.
Yeah.
Yes.
And which college did you attend?
I went to UT in Austin.
Okay.
Yes, and I majored in government and sociology. I did a double major.
Okay.
Yes.
I know about UT.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that good or bad?
No, I just know about it. I'm Aggie, so yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah.
They my neighbors.
I understand. My husband went to University of Alabama, so he's
Okay.
like, yeah, he talks about UT a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, we just want to dive in. We know this is the judicial race. So, what can you tell your voters, your fans, the people that know you, why run again?
Okay. So I tell people I'm a little different. Currently, I'm an associate judge, which I've been doing that since 2015. But as an associate judge, I am appointed. In my position. So I've
Okay.
never had to run. So this is my first time running. And let me tell you, my bosses never told me all the things that comes with running. They never did. So I'm trying to figure out why, but they
Yeah.
didn't. But so this is my first time running. So why me? I
Mhm.
mean, I've been preparing for this position for a long time now.
Okay. Now, how long you been an associate?
I've been an associate judge since 2015.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's good. So it's like marriage, name change, associate. You bad, girl. You bad. So, yeah. I mean, I have a lot of questions, but I would like to share the show.
Okay.
So, Professor K.
Yes. Can you go into detail? You were talking about your judicial journey and
Yes.
some of the hardships that come along with that. Tell us about that.
I would just say my judicial journey, it's been different because when I started off, I was single.
Okay.
I was single. And I was divorcing people every day that had been married for years.
Wow.
And so it was different. I was making decisions on people that had children, and I'm the only child.
Okay.
Mm.
So then I got married.
Uh-huh.
And then things start changing. I was able to kind of understand things from people from a different perspective.
Right. Understood. Mm-hmm.
And then I had my first child.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was able to understand what that means.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any siblings. So because I didn't have siblings, I didn't understand what that meant, what that looked like. So I had my first child. My first child is on the spectrum.
Wow.
So I was able to understand the people that would come into the courtroom and the things that they were going through when they had those types of issues. Then I had my second child. And I have just grown into the position.
Okay.
I have
like that.
learned a lot. I have great district judges. So I work currently under the district judges. And so my district judges are great, and they're great mentors, and I'm always able to go to them if I have a question or anything like that. So
Okay, so you can understand the judicial process more clearly because
Absolutely.
from a mother's perspective and an emotional perspective.
absolutely,
Yes.
yes.
Miss Angie.
All right. Well, thank you for that. So, in your journey from associate judge, and you want to be a presiding judge, are there any changes that you think you would make once you get that position?
Yes. So some of the changes that I probably would make would be to, I tell people, first of all, being an associate judge, you're the face of the court. You're the first contact. So when you file for something, the person you come see is the associate judge. And so because I've been in that position and I understand that the associate judge has a lot on their plate, I would kind of help with that a little bit. And so, because the district judge, what the district judge does is they do a lot of things on the end. So they get the people typically when they're happy. They get the people when they're ready to get this process over with. So it might be 6 months to a year before the district judge sees them because the associate judge is handling everything prior to that. So maybe kind of figure out a way to kind of share some of those duties.
Wow, I like that. I want to piggyback off what you said earlier about being associate judge and then you got married and kids. So have you had any, no names, we don't do names, but we'll say people that's coming to court, filing for divorce, then change their mind in the middle of it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely. I told a couple this morning actually that I can divorce you. I've done so many divorces. I can divorce you with my eyes closed. I can divorce you in backwards. I can divorce you in Spanish. I can divorce you all kind of ways. I've done so many divorces. But I like for people to understand why are we here. And my biggest thing, and I think it helps my marriage as well, is communication.
Yeah.
Communication. People don't
key.
communicate.
Right.
And so if you don't communicate, you can't get anything accomplished.
Yeah.
So I love for people to stay together
Yeah.
if they can. I don't force anybody to go to marriage counseling, but I ask people all the time, have you tried it? Are you
Yes.
willing to? So I'm all about saving families if I can.
Oh,
Have
I-
you
I
ever
like that.
mandated it?
Not to marriage counseling because I
Okay.
feel that's not my place. If you're ready, you're ready. Now what I do mandate is more of if I need to send you to co-parenting or if I need to send you to family therapy because you all have to figure out how you're going to work with one another.
Especially when it comes to a child.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've always had that conversation when it comes to kids. Parents gonna split up.
Right.
If they split up, they split up. But I've seen some of my best friends divorce their kids in a sense. I'm like, well, you divorced your ex. Why you divorcing? Well, because they don't want to be around her, so they thinking if I divorce the kids, I ain't got to deal with it. But your
Yeah.
kid is so
It's all about
innocent.
the kids. Absolutely.
And speaking of kids, we was off camera. I'm gonna get into your personal life because everybody know we had this little ice storm thing.
Right.
So, and your time spent was needed. And tell us a little bit about what we talked about off camera.
Okay. So we just kind of talked about the time that was spent. It was needed because I've been on the campaign trail, so I spend a lot of time out. I go to work from 8 to 6 o'clock, and from 6 o'clock to probably about 9, 10 o'clock at night, I'm out campaigning somewhere. And so my kids, they have been feeling like they've been neglected. And so I took this time, and what we did was we did a lot of family activities. So I like to be hands-on with my family, so we did cooking. We made cheesecake, and I didn't bring you all any because my kids,
Shucks.
they spend a lot of time eating more of the ingredients.
Oh, wow.
And we did some painting. We did some drawings. So we got this really nice, it reminded me of a projector back in the day. Okay, so they have a cool updated one now.
Okay.
And so we did a bunch of drawings, and then we colored them. We put beads and glitter.
Nice.
So we did a lot of that and play games. So it was a good time.
Okay, I like
Yes.
that.
And you said something about opening up Christmas presents, like what, a week, a month later?
We opened up some of those presents and we put puzzles together. We read books and yes, because it had just been sitting over there in the corner.
Oh,
So,
those were those gifts.
yes, that was good.
Oh, nice.
They go back in the corner and stuff.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yes.
So what can you tell the voters why choose you? Why vote for you?
I would say vote for me because number one, I am a hardworking judge. I am going to be the judge that is available, accessible, and ready to work for you. And what does that mean, right? You guys are probably like, well, shouldn't all judges be present? But a lot of times people come in. Just this morning, I had a protective order issue. I had a temporary orders issue. They want people that are available and accessible, and that's me. I love working. I love serving, and I think I'm the best candidate for the job.
I love that.
So educate us on the types of cases that you would normally preside over.
Okay, so in family law, I preside over child support cases, custody cases, modifications, CPS cases, adoptions that are child adoptions and adoptions that are adult adoptions, name changes. People are like, what name changes? If you go, we've been getting a lot because they changed the driver's license. So we've been getting a lot of people that are finding out that when they go to the DMV, they thought their name was Susie, but their name is Susan.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay.
And
I can understand that.
So when that happens, they're saying you can't get a driver's license. And they're like, but my name has been this all my life.
Yeah.
And so then they have to come see us in court. And so we have the jurisdiction to change names.
Okay.
Modifications. What is a modification? A modification is maybe you had an order and you needed to change the order because your income has changed. Or maybe the child is with the other parent now.
Okay.
Or you want to change visitation. So I do modifications. I do enforcements. We have orders and someone's not following the order, so we have to enforce the order. Discovery. Discovery is, it's a process when you have a lawsuit, you're able to discover things. So that's what they call discovery. So what does that mean? You're going through a divorce and you want to discover those emails, those text messages, those bank accounts.
Yeah.
So someone doesn't want to show those documents, and so they have to come to court, and I have hearings over that. Grandparent rights. Grandparents have rights in Texas, and so when grandparents are not seeing the children, they come to court and they ask us to assist them.
Wow.
Wow. I didn't know that.
So I think
I didn't
that
know. Yeah.
pretty much covers
Yeah.
everything. Oh, and then property disputes. Someone wants to sell a home or you want someone out of the home. Those types of things. We have that in divorces as well.
Yeah, go ahead. This is
Only because I had the pleasure, I think I've said it before, of serving on a jury.
Yes.
And it was a case of modification where the wife wanted to modify the visitation rights. She had gotten herself together. They both started off, they were on drugs. He got off drugs before she did, but she eventually did, and she got her life together and then got married and wanted to increase her visitation rights. It was a tough case. There were some extenuating circumstances that were said in the courtroom that we couldn't consider when we went in the back. So we, as a jury, argued about it. So how do you handle those situations in those cases where intuition is telling you one thing, but you also have to consider, the circumstances and the law? How do you handle that in such a volatile type situation as a modification like that?
That's a great question. What I would say first is that in family law, we don't have that many jury trials.
Okay.
And the reason why is because jurors, number one, don't really like family law cases because they're sitting there like, y'all are fighting over this?
Mhm. That's exactly how we felt.
Exactly.
Why are we here?
So as the judge, typically, and I can only speak for myself, but I tell people, you chose that person. You chose that person and you created this child. So now I have to figure out how can I, because it's about the child and what's the best interest of the child. And so if I have two parents that are caring parents that can care for their child, how can I work with what I have? And so that's kind of my thought process. How can I work with what I have? And people can disagree. They cannot get along, which is okay.
Yeah.
But it's about the child. So you two may not like each other, but it's about the child. So that's kind of what I start with. And then I work with what the law is. But I will say that being a family law judge, a lot of it is best interest of the child. So I always kind of just say best interest of the child.
So how do you allow yourself to not be influenced by the attorneys? What we found was that the performance of the attorneys was was profound. And so the attorney for the father just seemed to be more knowledgeable, more strategic than the attorney for the wife. And ultimately, it ruled in his favor.
Now, what I will say is that a lot of it is strategic, right? That's why they picked the jury trial. That doesn't work for the judge. We know.
Yeah.
That doesn't work for us. That was working for you all because you all were making the decision. But at the end of the day, I tell people, you're not the same person that you were yesterday. You're not the same person that you were a year ago. And so sometimes people, they have to grow up, they have to mature, they have to, find their religion, all types of things. And so when someone comes and they're ready to be a parent, then we have to accept that. Now, what does that look like? Does that look like you just take the child that hasn't seen a parent in 5 years and just go spend the night? Absolutely not. That probably wouldn't be in the best interest.
Yeah.
But we have to maybe put it in some sort of therapeutic setting so that we can figure out what's best for that child.
Speaking of therapeutic strategies, what strategies do you rely on when you're navigating these high conflict? Do you have a special something that you zone in on to say, okay, this is how I'm going to conduct this case?
Yes,
Okay.
and no, I'm pretty consistent. That's what the attorneys tell me. They know that if anybody says anything about drugs, the drug testing company is walking through the door.
Okay.
Okay? I tell them, and they're like, and I'm like, now you knew I was going to do that. You knew it.
So we got to test it on that
And
that
so
day.
I tell them that, I don't want anyone to get lost on their way to the drug testing company. So they just come to the courtroom and they do the drug testing there. I typically interview children. I love interviewing children. And the reason why I love interviewing the children, sometimes I do it myself or sometimes I send them to Family Court Services. Family Court Services is it's a blessing for the county for us to have them. So what they do is they have licensed counselors and they interview the children. We get to ask the questions, we draft the questions for them, and they interview the children. They do a nice report that the attorneys can read, the judges can read, and that report allows everyone to know what's going on. And why do I interview children? Because you kind of want to know what's going on with the kids.
That's right.
Kids tell you the truth.
Parents,
They will tell you.
yes, they will tell you the
you.
truth. And you got the parents over here arguing, but you got the kids over here saying, I just want pizza.
Who's gonna provide the pizza?
Yeah, my parents, they don't get along, but that's okay.
Just want pizza.
Just want pizza.
I just want pizza. And I'm like, okay, now the parents are saying something different, but it gives me a perspective. So I kind of start off with that. I like to know what's going on with the kids. Are the kids are they having some mental problems, or are they okay with how the parents are acting? So I'm pretty consistent with that. And then I kind of go from there. I'm able to see quickly if it's an issue of the parents, the attorneys, or the kid. Okay? Because you have kids that will play parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It
that was
happens.
my next question.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you had
It
some-
happens.
You have kids that play the parents, so I'm
Okay.
able to see that quickly. I have parents that
Play kids.
don't that play the kids, and so when I have parents that are playing the kids, I send them to co-parenting. I'm a firm believer in co-parenting.
Yeah, I think that's important.
Yes,
Yeah, we see a lot of parents that need parenting.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But co-parenting, the courses that we send them to, they go sit down with someone
Mm-hmm.
in a room and they talk about how to co-parent.
I like that.
There are some co-parenting classes where you just go online, but when you guys are online, I don't know if y'all are like me, but
Yeah.
typically when I'm in an online meeting, my camera's off.
Mm.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
But you're doing 20 other things.
I'm
Yeah.
washing the dishes. I'm folding the clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Listen
so-
to a TV show.
Right. So I send them because I think maybe they're doing what I'm doing and not paying attention, and I really want them to pay attention. So I send them to in person.
In-house.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have two different things because I have an IT company too. Sometimes we would have Zooms. We make sure everybody's on camera because that's important.
Yes.
Because we always tell them, if you're not on camera, you ain't here. Well, here I heard you wasn't here.
That's
We don't
true.
need no photo. We need visual that you need to be moving or something because we never know when you're going to call them on that person.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
The next question is that, well, I'm going to ask these two questions, then we'll go to a commercial.
Okay.
Because we talk about family and let your voters know who you are outside of the courtroom, the judicial. Like when you get home, do you detox when you get in your car before you get home? You know, you can have a good case, bad case, but you don't bring it home.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that?
So how do I detox?
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably detoxing in maybe a bad way, but I am probably the busiest person that you can think of. So outside of being a judge, I am a photographer. I have a photography business, and I love photography. I feel like photography is my therapy.
Yeah.
Your outlet.
And so
Yes.
it's my outlet. So I don't listen to the radio. I don't watch TV. And the reason why I don't do that is because I hear so much noise throughout the day.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And so I hear all the noise throughout the day, and so I like quietness. So in my car, on my way home and to and from work, it's quiet. And when I get home, every night, my kids, they just started allowing my husband to bathe them. But I get into bed with them and we read books.
Oh, I like that.
We have to read every night.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing. No matter what time I get home, they're waiting on me. And I one time I got home recently, maybe about 3 weeks ago, at 1 a.m, and my son was there, and he was crying because he said that was too late. That was too late. But I told him that's okay because we're gonna read our book and we're gonna go to bed. And I stayed a little extra in the bed with them so that we can have that time. But I'm a regular person. I cook, I clean. I actually love to cook. I think I'm a chef.
Okay.
But my kids are very active. They do piano, they do drums. So I take them to those types of things. They participate in basketball. I show up at basketball games. I've been campaigning, but I have campaign stuff on, and I'm in and I'm out.
Now, are you that mom that yells at the ref?
I'm not.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm not is because it's
she don't want to
scary.
be
No,
judged.
it's not even that. It's scary out
It is
there.
scary now.
It's
Yeah,
scary
times have
because,
changed.
times have changed. And sometimes the ref parents are out in the audit. They're out there making sure no one is messing with their
Bullying
kids.
their
Okay.
kids,
Goodness.
Yeah. It's,
All right, we're finna get ready to go to a commercial,
Okay.
but as you said, like your child, when you came in at 1 a.m, it's almost like you got a curfew. I had a conversation with Angelia a couple of weeks ago. Her daughter, you passed your curfew, Mom. I said, you get curfew?
I'm tracked. Yes.
Yeah.
oh, I hope they don't track you
She
on
has
the
my
phone.
location.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Oh,
She has
wow.
my location.
I
Yeah.
love it.
It's Overwatch. It's okay.
Yes.
Especially when I think she said her youngest daughter, she said she can be driving. Oh, Mom, since you close by so-and-so place, I already placed my order. Can you go through the drive-thru and get it?
I love it.
And by the way,
And do you say, okay?
You're at such and such.
And I would tell her, I said, your daughter must have it set to when Mom's around food places,
love
ping
it.
me.
I love it. I love it. I love
All right,
it.
we're going to go to commercial, then we get back. We're going to dive a little deeper. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, sounds
All right.
good. Thank you.
There are moments that define a year and nights that define a legacy. On April 25th, 2026, the red carpet leads to something greater. Welcome to the Reinvented Awards Gala, a night of purpose, community, and celebration. Join us in Arlington, Texas, as we honor some extraordinary individuals who made a powerful impact in their communities during 2025. Hosted by the legendary Vicki Winans, this elegant evening brings together leaders, visionaries, and change makers for a night you will never forget. From powerful stories to unforgettable moments, the Reinvented Awards Gala is more than an event, it's a movement. Tickets are on sale now. Don't wait. You don't want to miss this gala. Visit www.marcusleestevenson.com and secure your tickets today. The Reinvented Awards Gala, because transformation deserves to be celebrated.
Welcome back to the Marcus Lee Stevenson Show, and we are ready to dive in a little deeper with Judge Danielle Clark. I think Angelia had a piggyback question on this one.
I did. I thought about what you were saying about the time spent with your kids and how important that is. And some of you may know that I sit on the board of a foster care home for girls. And in thinking about reunification, how does that weigh, when you look at reunification and the timelines for reunification and thinking about your own experience with your kids, how does that impact, those decisions that you make in terms of when to reunite the child with the family, or is it best in the best interest of the child to actually stay in that foster situation?
So that's a great question. So in any type of CPS cases, we typically have anywhere from about 10 professionals on a case. Oh, wow. So 10 professionals. So I rely on those professionals. Mm-hmm. They have different services that they have. And so when they're going through that process, mm-hmm. they typically will make the recommendation because they're the ones that's actually seeing that child. They're the ones that's seeing those families. So they're the ones that do it. Now, I will say that there are guidelines that they have to follow to have it done within a certain time period. So they typically come to me every 30 to 60 days, mm-hmm. and sometimes 90 days, and they have follow-ups with me. And at that time, I ask those questions. Are we doing our services? Are they getting the services that they need? And that's how I'm able to make the determination. Now, I only have to make a ruling if someone files some sort of motion because maybe they're wanting to reunite, what we call like a placement hearing. They're wanting the child to be placed back with them. Then I would have a hearing in regards to that. But they have to do the ask.
Okay. The parent has
to do the ask. Mm-hmm. Yes.
This is also very interesting and deep. Thank you for the conversation because we're, I guess, esoteric in nature. So your bringing these things out really enlightens us. But I'm going to digress for just a moment and talk about mentorship and legacy. So who mentored you into the judge you are today, and how do you pay that forward, that mentorship forward?
That's a great question. I have lots of mentors, but I will say the main person is a person that gave me the opportunity to be in this position, and her name is Judge Andrea Plumley. Judge Andrea Plumley gave me the position, and I was 31, 32 years old.
We're gonna say 25.
I felt like I was 18, but she gave me an opportunity, and when she gave me the opportunity, maybe about a month and a half into the job, she said, "How old are you?" She didn't even know how old I was.
Really? Okay.
That's a compliment.
And so, yes, but she gave me an opportunity. She allowed me to make mistakes. She allowed me to make mistakes. I learned. And what does that mean? She allowed me to make mistakes. I remember one time she called me to her office. She said, what kind of ruling did you do? And I said, I don't know. Like, what do you mean? And so we talked about some things. And one of the things was, it was a situation regarding breastfeeding. Okay.
I'm gonna turn this way. Go ahead.
So, and so I didn't know because remember I'm the only child, right? Yeah. And so I just thought when you have a baby, you just have milk, right? No, When I had my first baby, the milk didn't come out like I thought it was.
Yeah.
And so I did not realize that when you have someone that is breastfeeding, I just assumed that the milk just comes out and you can pump and give the other person a child.
Up and go, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
And so I remember us having a conversation on it, and I was just confused. I said, "Oh, I just thought the milk comes out." But when I had my first baby and I was sitting in the hospital and I called her because I remember our conversation.
Uh-oh.
That's why it's so memorable.
I said, "You were right." And but yes, but she's just been a great mentor and allowed me to make mistakes like that because
Yeah.
that was a mistake because I
Yeah.
didn't know. I just thought you just
You learn.
I'm
Right.
sure at that moment you felt like you were being called into the principal's office. Is that
exactly
what it felt like.
Exactly. But so yeah. Now, how do I pay it going forward?
Yes.
I do internships myself, and so what I do is I pour into the community.
Wonderful.
I allow internships. I allow internships for just the Christmas holiday, spring break, because
Nice.
sometimes people they need to see what this is like. And so I offer week-long internships, 2 weeks, the whole summer. I'm very flexible because I want you to learn.
Oh, that's nice.
How do you publicize that? I think
Yeah, I
that's
was gonna
information
say.
that needs to get out.
Yes, so I do it mainly through the Dallas Bar, but the different organizations that I'm in, I put that out there with the organizations. I also do a scholarship. I do a yearly scholarship, and I do that through the Pearls of the Ivy Foundation, which is part of my sorority. And I just put the information out through the sorority, through different outlets like Nextdoor. I post it in there. So, yeah. And also on my social media.
Okay. Yeah, speaking of social media, what is your social media so the voters can follow you?
Yes.
Do what they got to do? Tell
Okay,
'em, tell 'em.
perfect. So my social media is at Judge Danielle Diaz Clark on Instagram and also on Facebook.
Okay. Say that one more time.
At Judge Danielle Diaz Clark. And I put everything on there. I like for people to kind of see what I'm doing out in the community, what I'm doing with my family. So, yeah. So it's my personal page that I open up to everyone.
And the reason I asked you to say it twice, my youngest daughter always say, "Dad, if you say it twice, it's repetition. You'll never forget." So
Yeah.
we don't want them to forget. So another question, and I'm piggybacking off a statement you made earlier. What's the percentage of cases that you have that where it's a custody thing, but the kids have to go with grandparents or associate?
Believe it or not, it's not that many.
Okay.
It's very, very few. And typically when I'm just gonna speak for me, but when I do have those types of cases, usually a parent is deceased.
Oh, okay.
That's typically, you don't have that many cases where maybe mom and dad are both unfit and can't take care of a kid, so maybe a third party is taking care of it. It's more of a deceased.
Okay. Yeah, I was just kind of curious because,
Yeah.
stuff you see on court TV versus real TV, well, real life. Do you have any court TV moments in your courtroom? No names, but I'm just saying.
Every day.
This is court TV.
Every day. I had a lady yesterday. She was with me for quite a while yesterday, and she told me that this was the best thing that she's ever seen, and that she's coming back. She said, "I don't need to watch TV anymore. I'm going to come back to court." But yes, one of the reasons why I don't watch TV or listen to the radio is because in the courtroom I have all types of things. I have comedy, I have mystery, I have romance. I have all types of stations in the courtroom.
Oh, so that's why you don't watch
Wow.
TV. You see it
I
live.
see it live.
Up close and
every day.
personal.
Yes.
Everyday life
Yes.
journey,
And
real
so
life journey.
usually when I have, very colorful cases, I might, say, "Hey, why don't you guys sit down?" Because sometimes people are literally coming in there to take care of their business.
Yes.
They might get married on Monday. On Tuesday, they decide this is not going to work.
Ooh.
And on Wednesday, we're filing divorce.
Wow.
And so I have a couple that comes in the courtroom. They want to be in and out. They do not want to hear that drama.
Oh.
And so I typically will take those cases that
Quick,
are
yeah.
going to be, long and very colorful. I put them toward the end
Yeah.
of the docket.
You want to get the little easy ones
Get
out
the
the way.
easy ones out and then work
Yeah.
that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. But that's good. So what about, how, we'll say, because I've been divorced, and, some people say we're just going to sign these documents and we're going to make it nice, but when you go to court, everything y'all say y'all was going to do, we're just going to sign the paper, then all of a sudden it changes, and then you like, whoa, this is a fight now. Because it started out nice, it's going to make it amicable, and go out through them doors is a whole different story.
That happens a lot. I typically every case before I have a hearing, I like to know what the issues are. I ask the parties, okay, what are we here for? Because that kind of gives me an idea of what we have, and then it gives me an idea of how much time I'm going to give you. Am I going to give you an hour? Am I going to give you 20 minutes? Am I going to give you 2 hours? It just depends. And so when they start saying exactly what the issues are, someone might say, oh, that's not an issue. I agree to that. And then I'm like, okay. So then I'll say, well, these are the remaining issues. I want you all to go out in the hallway and talk about those things. And believe it or not, they go out and they typically have an agreement. And some of the reason the attorneys are out in the hallway talking or in the side conference room, the parties are sitting in the courtroom listening to the people that have the colorful cases. And they're like, well, wait a minute, hold up.
Wow.
I don't know if I really want to fight over this pot and pan. It's not that
Not
serious.
that serious.
But sometimes when people see other people and what they're going through, they realize,
I don't want to look like that.
I don't want to look like that. So let me be reasonable. And so they typically agree.
And the pots and pans story is true. It said when I was going through my divorce, the judge literally said, "Please don't have me count spoons and sparks. She can have it all." Have it all.
I tell people I will count the spoons and forks if
Yeah.
I need to.
Yeah.
And we're going to write it down. And I tell people, you go write down what you want
Yeah.
and you go write down what you want. And then I want y'all to exchange
Yeah.
and figure it out. And they typically figure it out.
So we've talked a lot and made assumptions that everybody has an attorney. What about the pro se?
That don't.
Yes, that come in and don't have an attorney. How do you handle what type of compassion, I think, do you employ and abilities to potentially educate them on, the law in certain situations? How does that work out?
Okay, great question. So I love pro ses. A lot of judges don't like pro ses, but I love them.
Okay.
And the reason why I love them is because they are so appreciative. They really are. And so with them being appreciative, I like that. I like to feel like what I did helped someone.
Yeah.
And they always make me feel like that. So some of the things that I implemented, because when I don't like to run around. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah.
when I go to a business, I don't like to run around. And that's what pro ses get. They get the run around. So I said, well, how can I help the pro ses? So what I do is I have a pro se docket.
Okay.
So this morning, I started my pro se docket at 8:30 this morning. So what a pro se docket means is that you have a case, you're represented by yourself, and you need your paperwork reviewed because you filed, but you don't know what to do next. So they come into the courtroom, and I review their paperwork, and I help navigate them into completing that paperwork so that we can get to the finish line. If they need service, I say go to the first floor. Because, see, they're going to the 4th, 5th, 6th floor. I say, nope, you got to go down to the first floor. You need to go to the law library. Go grab me this form so that I can finish up your paperwork. So pro ses, I'm okay with pro ses. And I also do it because everybody can't be there at 8:30. So I have another one at 1:15, just in case you need to come in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Now, I also have it where I do walk-ins. What does that mean? Sometimes you just show up to the courthouse because you need some paperwork signed or you're filing a TRO. I have an open door policy where you come into the courtroom and you can drop your paperwork off with me.
Okay. What do you recommend? Because when this online industry is AI stuff, where people will go and say, I'm going to just download a divorce paperwork, you sign it, I sign it, and we divorce. Do you recommend that, or you recommend they come to the courtroom to make sure that both parties are equally valued?
I recommend, there is a website. It is Texas, spelled out, texaslegalhelp.org. So Texas, spelled out, legalhelp.org. I don't know who maintains that website, but it's amazing.
Oh, wow.
It is amazing. I use it in my personal life.
Okay.
But it is a website that whoever did it, they're wonderful.
Yeah.
Because it helps you navigate not just family law issues, but property issues, civil issues, and they have a Q&A section. So everything, and it does step by step for you. It tells you, file this paperwork, and it tells you what paperwork to file. Take it to the courthouse. It gives you step by step. And so that is typically what I give people. And then also when they go down to the law library, so we're fortunate in Dallas County to have a law library.
Yeah, it's
And
nice.
so it's pretty, I like it. And so when you go down there, they give you the forms from that website. Now, they make you pay for it, but they have the forms from that website.
And it gets the job done.
And it gets the
Yeah.
job done.
Gets the job done.
And
So, yeah.
say the website again.
The website is texaslawhelp.org, and Texas spelled out.
Okay.
Yes.
I
Now,
like
Judge,
that.
your vision for the future, if you are elected judge, what is the one change you hope will define your next term? If you can narrow that down to one.
Just one term.
One change.
One change.
One change.
I would say accessibility.
Okay, that's important.
I would say accessibility. Some courts are doing a lot of virtual things, and virtual is good, but I think you have to be accessible. Accessibility. And so we have virtual dockets, and because some people, we have proof of dockets where you're proving up your case. That's all you're doing, and that takes 5 minutes. You shouldn't have to come all the way down to the courthouse for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
that
so we
makes sense.
have that. But some people, believe it or not, like to come down for those 5 minutes in person.
Wow.
And you know why? Because they want you to sign their paperwork right then and there. And that's okay. But if you're not accessible,
Yeah.
they can't get the paperwork signed.
Okay. Now, is it a percentage of, we'll say, a divorce case, and both parties supposed to be there, and one don't show up? What's the ramifications of that?
So it just depends. So some divorce cases, if there's a waiver on file that says, I don't care what happens, just divorce me, I don't need them there. There are some situations where you file an answer where you're saying, well, I kind of care what's going on.
Yeah.
So if I sign the paperwork, then you're good. So if you come in with a signed divorce decree, I don't need the other person there.
Okay.
But if you have what we call a default, which means that you were served and you got some paperwork that said you have been sued, you have 20 days to file an answer, a written answer with the court. If that is not on file, then we do something called a default. So if you're defaulted, then you don't have to be there. Because you're defaulted, they're going to come in and tell me that the other person is a millionaire and all types of things.
Yeah.
And I have to listen to what they're saying because there's not an answer on file.
That's deep.
So it's important. I tell people, another fun fact, I don't know if you didn't ask me quite about my resume, but I used to be an adjunct professor. I stopped around COVID because
talk
it
about
You
that.
a what?
an
Adjunct.
I used to
Okay.
teach.
Yes.
And so one thing that I would tell my teachers, I mean not my teachers, my students, is that if you get a lawsuit and it says you have been served and you need to file an answer, file an answer. Because that way the court knows that you want to participate in the process.
Okay.
So that's important. File an answer.
That's deep. That's good to know.
Yes.
I'm a file. I don't know what I'm
File
answering,
an
but I'm
an-
answering something.
Well, an answer just means that you're letting the court know that you're
in the fight.
in a fight.
Your
It gives the court
intentions.
your address, your email now, because we need emails,
All right.
and that's it. It's just a document.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Wow. Go ahead. All right, Angie, I know you're tickling.
No, actually, I think my last question just goes back to your campaign.
Okay.
If you could narrow that down again for your audience, for those that support you and those who are getting to know you, what's those 2 or 3 words that would really define who you are and your character as a judge?
I would say accessible, hardworking, and caring. That defines me. I tell people, you're not going to outwork me. I'm going to be there early, and I'm going to leave late. I'm going to make sure I get the job done for today, tomorrow, and next week. So that's the first thing. I care. I care. What does that mean? That means that when you come to me, you have a problem, and you couldn't resolve it.
True.
So you need me to resolve it, and you don't need me to resolve it next week, the week after. You need me to resolve it now. And so I respect people's time, and I try to make sure I rule from the bench. Now, there are sometimes I can't rule from the bench because I need to look at some more stuff. I need to go back and evaluate this. Or I might be waiting on an interview. I might be waiting on drug test results. There are some times where I just can't rule from the bench. And so I make sure I get that to you because you were waiting on me. And I don't want you to be waiting on me. I want to be waiting on you.
Wow.
And just accessibility. I'm big on accessibility because we're here to serve the citizens. I'm here to serve the citizens. And so I should be accessible so that I can serve you.
Nice.
Great.
Thank you for
Professor.
your service.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, any more questions?
I have to save some of my questions.
No problem. So let me ask you this.
Yes.
Well, this is not a question, then I'm going to the question. You ever use the gavel? Is the gavel?
Yeah.
Yes, the gavel type now.
Honestly,
like
my
ordering the court type thing?
honestly, my kids probably use it more than me when they come into the courtroom.
Judge
But-
in the making.
Yeah.
Yes, but honestly, people are pretty much respectful in the courtroom. So I don't have to use it. We have bailiffs in the courtroom, and so they, if someone is getting loud, he might say something. But overall, I probably have more problems out of the attorneys
Really?
than I do out of the litigants,
wow.
believe it or not.
Wow.
Because
know that,
sometimes I
yeah.
feel that's why I said, remember earlier, I said I have to make sure it's not an attorney problem or if it's a litigant problem.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes when attorneys are acting up and they're speaking over one another because they're mad because someone is objecting or something like that, then I have to get on the attorneys. So, yeah.
Yeah,
And from
that's,
go ahead.
that's what I noticed, again, going back to that case, that the attorney threw the evidence across the table to the
Oh,
other
Lord.
attorney, you know.
Exactly. I'm telling you, it's rarely the litigants.
Okay.
It's probably more of the attorneys in my situation. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
For the attorneys, it's for contempt of court.
Yeah.
No, that's shocking.
It
You
was
would think of
eye-opening.
all people, they would have it together.
It was.
Well,
it-
sometimes attorneys, they know how because it's a performance, and so they know how to get under the
Under
other
the
person.
skin.
Because were they doing a lot of objections or
They
anything?
were. Every
So-
other word was
So
an objection.
imagine if you were trying to say something or ask a question and someone just keeps cutting you off. It would frustrate you. And then and you have to be quick and you have to try to figure out how to formulate that sentence the correct way. So yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. It was courtroom theatrics.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
personified. So.
And
And
so you
then-
have to see who's gonna win, who's gonna be on top.
And then after that, they go to lunch.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody goes to lunch and say, "Why did you make me mad?"
Let's go eat. Let's go eat. So when is the election? Let them know where. I mean, Dallas County, you're a 301, correct?
Yes, I'm running for
Yeah.
301.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let them know how to vote, where the places, placement stuff, or
Yes.
zip codes.
Yes, so I am the whole entire county. So first of all, I didn't realize how big Dallas County was, but it is huge. There's a lot of cities in Dallas County, but the whole entire Dallas County can vote for me. Early voting starts on February 17th.
Okay.
They have not gotten all of the locations for the where you vote at yet, so that will be coming out any day now. And the general election is on March the 3rd.
Okay.
So,
Now, is
yeah.
it a website that they go on to try to find out where they vote at in their community?
Their precinct, their location.
Yes, if you go to Google and you put in Dallas County voting, you should be able to find that. I don't have the information on my website yet, but I will. You can go to Danielle for judge.com, and Danielle is spelled Danielle for FOR Judge JUDGE.com.
Wow.
Yes.
I like that. Yeah, because everybody don't know how to go on. It's especially what is it, Gen X? What is it now? They know they keep changing the acronyms for the younger
The
kids who just now learning.
Gen X.
Yeah, yeah, Gen X. Yeah, so they need to know how to go.
Yes.
And they good at the internet, so they can go on the website and look where do I vote at and all that.
And usually I send out messages to individuals to let them know all of the voting locations.
Okay,
So yeah,
I like that. I like that.
Thank you.
So let them know again how to find you.
Yes.
On your IG. You got IG, Facebook.
IG, Facebook. You can find me at Judge Danielle Diaz Clark on IG, Facebook at Judge Danielle Diaz Clark. And you can also go to my campaign page, which is danielleforjudge.com. And that website again is danielleforjudge.com.
Okay. Last thing.
Yes,
Looking at middle camera.
the middle camera.
Middle camera.
All right.
You gonna be mom, sister, auntie, friend, and tell them why to vote for auntie, vote for mom, vote for cousin. Just talk to the people.
Okay. All right. I would love for you to vote for me because I am that judge that is accessible, hardworking, and caring. I am here for the community. I'm here to serve you, and I would love your support, and I would love for you to vote for me. DanielleForJudge.com. Thank you.
Nice. All right. And on that note, we will see you guys, ladies, on the next episode of Marcus Lee Stevenson Show. And thank you again, Judge, for blessing us
you.
with
Thank
your
you
presence.
for having me. Thank you. This is fun.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Linda King. Thank you, Angelia Carter Clark. Yeah, I change her name all the time.
Yeah. We all have 3 names.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I say their middle name, their whole name.
Who am I
Yeah.
today?
So, again, we thank everybody for watching and continue to support the show as we bring conversations that matter upon you. And any questions that you want us to ask anybody, and any guests you want us to get on here, just tag us. I am at Marcus Lee Stevenson, all across the board: Facebook, IG, TikTok, even YouTube. So, and tune into the YouTube channel and always subscribe. And we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. And we're out.
Thank you.